Oh my gosh, there's a fly on the window. You inside or outside? Please say you're outside. No, please don't say anything at all. That would freak me out. Another thing I learned is that I don't have to allow anyone to call me sensitive, or, well, too sensitive is the one that gets me. I'm like, who's too sensitive? I refuse to be mocked or belittled about it. You know, you're not gonna tell me, oh, you just be insensitive, especially if you've said something that was offensive or upsetting and I responded in an emotional way. It's not because I'm too sensitive, it's because you were inconsiderate or offensive or rude or disrespectful. I cannot tell you how many diets I've tried, how many surgeries I've researched, whether weight loss surgery or cosmetic surgery, because I felt like the thing that needed to change in order for my life to improve or for me to feel better was me, specifically my body, because I always knew that I had it going on mentally, like personality wise, but I always felt like my body was just a walking flaw from, you know, neck down. You know, the jiggly arms, the jiggly legs, the bigger midsection, the butt that's slightly eclipsed by my back fat, so it looks like I have very little booty, even though I got a little bit something. You know, it's not fair. Hey boo, this is Nika and I am pleasantly unbothered. Thank you so much for joining me for yet another video. So if you've been here before, I know this is not how you're used to seeing your girl, you know. But I was actually in the middle of doing my makeup and I started thinking about some things, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I figured, why not do a get ready with me while I get ready? So a couple of like housekeeping items. First of all, today's my birthday. Okay. Again, we'll get to that. Second disclaimer, I am not a beauty guru at all whatsoever. I'm not a pro. I'm just a beauty enthusiast who loves to play in makeup, and I'm actually getting ready to go out with my honey for a birthday dinner. So I figured I would just talk to you about some of the things that's been going through my mind over the last couple of days while I do my makeup. So hopefully this natural lighting that I'm using today is not going to tell on me and show all the things that are to be seen. And hopefully it comes out okay. I don't know what kind of look I'm going for yet, but I have all my stuff right here beneath the camera line, and I'm just gonna see where we go. That's usually how I come up with my makeup looks. A few of you have kind of commented on it before, so hopefully you like this video, okay? All right, so I have on primer and foundation. Actually, sunscreen, primer, foundation, in that order. Just put them all over my face. And I'm not going to get into like the specifics of the products, but all of the details, including like the brushes and everything, are down in the description box, so just check that out if you're interested. So yeah, it's my birthday and it's the 5th anniversary of my 25th birthday, so I'm super hyped. I mean, if you want to be technical or whatever, that means I'm 30 years old today, which is crazy to me. And I think what's been on my mind most lately is that I just feel like I'm a completely different person at the end of this decade, you know, turning 30 now, than I was when I was turning 20, for example. And just, I've learned so much, and I'm just glad to be where I am right now. So I thought I'd share with you some of the biggest lessons that I've learned in my 20s. The struggle to open a new product. Jeez Louise. All right, we're trying a new concealer today, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. And of course, at any point in this video, if you have any lessons that you've learned, or if you know what I'm talking about, you know, let me know in the comment section what you think, right? And I don't want to spend too much time on each lesson, I guess, just because we'll be here all day. Just all day, and you don't got that kind of time, okay? So if you want me to go into more detail about any of these, let me know in the comment section below. Anyhow, the first thing that really kind of occurred to me lately, basically a little backstory. Me and my girlfriends are planning on going to an all-white yacht party, and the thought occurred to me like, oh my gosh, that sounds like so much fun. It's gonna be all the girls hanging out, having a good old time. And I think about how much fun I've been having when I go out lately. I used to go out quite a bit, you know, to the club or to the bar or whatever, and I'd often come home feeling very unfulfilled, like I didn't get what I was going for, or I wasn't pleased with the outcome of the night or something. I feel like for a very long time when I was going out, my intention or my hope, my ultimate hope, was that I'd meet someone, you know, meet a gentleman. Hopefully he's a gentleman and not a creep, right? But I'd meet a guy, we'd spot each other from across the dance floor or whatever, and you know, we'll talk, and I'll be all dressed up all cute with my face all did and my little outfit or whatever, and that'll be cool, right? Except if that didn't happen, and if I wasn't approached by anyone that I was interested in, or if I wasn't approached at all, then I'd go home feeling kind of down and kind of sad, right? No, powder weight too much. And at this point in my life, I'm actually in quite a stable relationship, and when I go out, my intention obviously at this point is not to meet anyone, you know. I'm not out there hoping that some guy approaches me because I have a guy at home, you know, and so that's not my motive anymore. And suddenly I'm able to have so much more fun and really let my hair down and really enjoy myself and just really have a good time, rather than kind of being self-conscious because now I'm on the lookout for a guy. I'm on the dance floor, you know, hoping that somebody's watching or something. I don't know what I was thinking, and it probably sounds so weird, but I know it's not just me, you know. I know a lot of ladies go out, you know, whether or not we're like, oh, these guys ain't nothing, whatever. Like when we go out and we're all dressed up, I think if we're single, we do kind of have a hope to some degree that we find someone. And I'm putting on a lot of powder because I get like oily T-zone. But, you know, I think we kind of under the surface hope that, you know, we find somebody that's worth our time, you know. And when that didn't used to happen, I'd get really discouraged and kind of disappointed. And, you know, when you going out is when you're looking your best, you're all dolled up and you got your little high heels on or whatever. And I just found that something about being not only just in a relationship, but being more aware of myself and who I am and what I want and my priorities, and just knowing myself better at this point, I'm so like just unconcerned about, you know, getting a guy's attention or having a guy look my way, or, you know, having a guy approach me at the end of the club or at the end of the night, or whatever the case may be. All right, we better set these eyelids before we crease anymore, because girl. And what's also interesting to me about that is that I feel like I get approached more now at this point in my life, when I'm older, when I might actually be a little bit heavier than I was before, after having a baby, and, you know, all those things that people tell you are gonna, you know, have your body going downhill or whatever. All the myths, you know, all the lies. I feel like I'm getting approached more now than ever before, and now I'm so unbothered. Like now I don't want the attention. It's like, oh, now y'all looking now, you know. But I feel like there's a certain level of, you know, self-confidence or self-assurance that comes with finally knowing who you are and not feeling the pressure to be desirable to a man or to present yourself in a way that's desirable to a man. And if anybody understands what I'm trying to say, like, give me amen in the comments, because I know I'm not the only one who's experienced this, even though I may not be choosing the perfect words to articulate it. Oh, another housekeeping item I forgot to address is that my face is darker than my body. Part of that is due to me not having a perfect color match in my foundation. Another part is that my face just gets more sun than the rest of my body. So my cleavage area, my shoulders, like everything else is much lighter than my face. So we just do our best to match as best as possible. And like I said, when you have oily combination skin, for me, more is more when it comes to the powder. But I do end up brushing a lot of this away, so no worries. Don't panic, we got this under control. And I do have to take my foundation and my powder all the way down my neck, because my neck is darker than even my face. I have so many discoloration issues going on, you wouldn't believe it if you saw it. All right, and that kind of ties into my next point with the self-assurance and kind of just knowing who you are. The next lesson I learned is that when you truly have gone through the trouble of discovering who you are, then no one else in your life is able to define that for you. So, matter of fact, let me say that again, because some of y'all might not have heard me. No, let me say. but honestly though, that's another big thing, that once I learned like who I am, what makes me tick, what I like, who's important to me, who have me as a priority in their lives, you know, things like this, that's when I got to a point of being a lot less self-conscious and just less bothered in general by, you know, other people, other people's opinions of me. It opened my eyes to the fact that I am who I am, and there is space in the world for that, without me having to alter myself, change myself, pretend to be something different, sink or hide away in the background, you know, to avoid being noticed as something different. And this brush didn't have anything on it, by the way. I'm just brushing away all the extra stuff. And I feel like that was my issue for a very long time, that I spent so much of my life being or feeling self-conscious and always being worried about how I'm being perceived and what someone might say about me and what someone might think about me. And we all know that when you are, you know, well, not we all know, but some of us who have lived the experience know that when you do have something that's considered to be a flaw to other people, you know, in other people's eyes, that's often the first thing they turn to when it's time to insult you. And so I felt like I had to be very kind of conscious of myself all the time, self-conscious even, and just very much on eggshells about making sure I don't offend someone, because we know the first thing they'd come after is the fact that I'm fat. And for a long time that was like kryptonite. You point that out and I'm just shrinking, you know, I'm in the sunken place. and it's so sad that words can have such power over us. They only have power if we let them have power, obviously, but we so often let them have that power. So, you know, I talked about that a lot in my my letter to my ex video, that, you know, as much as I want to put the blame or whatever on the person and talk about, you know, how they wronged me and stuff, like, I played a part too, you know. I allowed someone to treat me a certain way, and that had to do with my own self-perception and my own self-esteem or lack thereof, or my own self-worth at the time. And I mean, you live and you learn. Wow, this is just peeling right off of my eye. I thought I said that. No? Okay. Eyeshadow's gonna be fun today because I don't know what's happening to my eyelid. It looks like the concealer just peeled right off of there, even though I set it with the powder. Okay, what else then? We'll do some blush. And so anyhow, back to the me being self-conscious. I spent so much of my life just being like hyper self-aware, like at all times. How much space am I taking up? Am I standing too close to this person? Is my, you know, stomach touching the front of the something? Is the, like, just everything. Am I the biggest girl in class right now? And are they gonna notice when I get up and I have trouble sliding out of that stupid desk in college or whatever, you know? Like, just overly self-aware and very self-critical as a result of that. Did I do too much with the blush? I'm not used to doing my makeup with natural lighting. This mirror has a light on it, but sometimes when you go outside after using a different kind of light, the natural light will tell on you, girl. Okay, girl. But thankfully over time I was able to kind of master, to an extent, the art of getting out of my own head, and so I'm not constantly worried and stressing and obsessing about, you know, what someone might be thinking or what they might say or whatever, because I've learned and realized that that it truly does not matter. As they say, what someone else thinks of you is none of your business. And I used to think like, oh, that's cute and all, but it's about me, so that makes it my business, you know. And and now I don't even want it to be my business. It's like, okay, well, you probably don't know me very well if you are making certain statements or having certain thoughts or assumptions, you know, about me. And so if you don't actually know me well, then why should I care so much about your opinion? Why do I care what you have to say or what you think about me? I don't know. And I hope this video is not 10 hours long because I'm having trouble focusing on my makeup while I'm talking. So sorry. I'm doing my makeup in silence and then talking and gesturing at you. Come on, Nika, get it together. And I mean, the thing about assumptions that I've learned is that not only will strangers and even friends and family make assumptions about us, but we often make assumptions about ourselves. Sorry, gotta focus on not having crazy brows, please. Okay. This is why I don't like having someone in the room when I'm doing my makeup, because if I get to talking to them, I'll never get through this brow. Why does it require so much focus? Does it like activate a different part of the brain or something? And when we make assumptions about ourselves, I think sometimes it's even worse than when strangers do it to us or when someone else does it, because then we end up living our lives based on those assumptions. So for me, when I was, let's say, a teenager, I kind of accepted certain things to be true, you know, like I wasn't as creative in photography class, so I assumed that I'm just not a creative person. I thrive in English class and math class and such and such and such and such. And so clearly I'm more of a logical person, and that creative side of me just, I wasn't born with it or something. And I've kind of held myself to that almost. It's like, okay, so I believe that to be true, so I'm just gonna live my life that way now. And so I went through life assuming that I'm not of the creative nature. And I have to say, lately I've been proving myself wrong. And I'm so happy for that, because I'm so happy about that. Because it's like, how many opportunities did I let go of or not pursue or not consider because I just assumed that my rational, logical, you know, math trained brain, you know, wouldn't be able to handle it because I'm not one of those creative types. And once I assumed that was the case, I thought I had myself figured out, and I moved forward with that assumption. And then it's like it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know. If you say that you're not something, then you're automatically not something. If you say that you're not beautiful, then boom, you called it. You know, if you say that you are awesome, then there you go, you call that too. But our words can have such an impact on our reality and how we see ourselves and how we see the world. And I feel like for me, a lot of the words that I believed about myself, a lot of the things I believed about myself were based on such incorrect assumptions from a time in my life when I had no idea about who I was. And unfortunately, those were the kind of the rules I lived my life by, you know. I learned those things and I accepted them to be true, because at 15 you think you know everything even though you know nothing yet. And that's okay. That is okay. It's not an insult to say that, you know, 15-year-olds don't know anything. Well, depends on how you say it, right? Because they know something. We knew something. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, I think. So I've been thinking about doing a video to my younger self. Someone recommended it, one of my girls that be commenting on my videos, okay? She recommended it. And I was like, girl, that sounds like a great idea, actually. Why does this not look dark enough? Something's, okay, now it looks too dark with you, but then over here, is it because I'm talking while I'm doing it? And those assumptions can carry on over to just about anything that we believe, you know, that I'm too big to be a dancer, you know, I'm this and this, why would anyone ever want me? I'm never gonna find someone that finds me attractive or that really loves me for me, or whatever kind of crazy things we tell ourselves. And not everything that we believe is true, obviously, and not everything that our brain tells us is true. They say the subconscious actually doesn't know the difference between the truth and a lie, and so sometimes our brain is telling us things that's unverified information. We need to check those sources and make sure that we really have the info we need to move forward the way we need to, you know, to live the life that we want to live, a life that makes us happy. I think the biggest one, the biggest thing, lesson, what have you, I learned, it's basically that I don't have to be Superwoman all the time. And I know a lot of you can probably relate to this. I feel like as women, in my case, a woman of color, we are expected to be selfless, nurturing, strong, resilient, forgiving, tireless, sacrificing. Like, we're supposed to be all of these things at one time, you know? And then we're not allowed to be emotional or to have emotions or too strong of feelings while doing all of these things. And for a long time, I've felt guilty in my life if I haven't been able to meet all of those different characteristics or qualities at the same time in my life, you know? So I would feel pressure to fulfill everyone's needs. And when you're a full-time mother, a full-time employee to an organization, a full-time girlfriend, wife, fiance, whatever, a full-time daughter, a full-time sister, you know, when you have so many different roles in your life, so many hats you have to wear, you often, or at least me, I often ended up putting myself last, kind of on the back burner. And you probably noticed I stopped doing my brows again. Don't yell at me, okay? Sometimes I'll be at home like, girl, if you don't finish that brow, keep talking. But yeah, it's like we're expected to fill all these roles at the same time and to do it with a smile, you know, and to not have an attitude and to not be tired or sad or depressed even, because we know the stigma around mental health is don't get me started, right? But it can be so exhausting, you know? It can be so exhausting trying to be the perfect mom, the perfect daughter, the perfect wife, the perfect girlfriend, the perfect employee simultaneously, you know? I'm in the morning expected to be the perfect mama when I wake up with my daughter, we get ready for the day, I get ready for work, and then I leave. From that moment, I am on a mission to be the perfect employee, to get there on time, to clock in, get my job done, do it to the best of my ability, to be responsible, accountable, to have integrity, to do all those things, to be a certain kind of person, right? And work can be a struggle depending on your industry, what you do for a living, how much you love it. And sometimes we love the place we work and we're very attached to the culture and the mission and all of that, which I'm thankful to say I'm in that position. And then sometimes it's not so easy, you know, but we're expected to do our job, to earn our wage with a smile. Hopefully we do it and we're getting the job done well. And then we work until whatever time we get off, what, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Sometimes I'm getting off at 8 o'clock, just depending on what time I start my day. And then I'm on the mission to be the perfect mama and fiance now, you know? What are we gonna have for dinner? Did honey figure out dinner already? Do we have groceries? Do I need to make any stops before I go home? And then I'm at Costco or I'm at Walmart and I'm getting errands done and I'm doing all this, walk in the door at home and I'm in mommy mode again, you know? Or fiance mode now because my honey's here and we haven't seen each other all day. And then it's like, so when do I get to be just Nika? You know, when do I get to just like sit back, check in with myself, you know, check in with myself, see how I'm doing, you know, how's Nika feeling today? And, you know, decompress a little bit. And all of these roles are known to be challenging roles. You know, no one has ever said that being a mama is easy. It's rewarding, but it's not easy. Same with work, you know, no one ever said it would be easy. Hopefully it's something that's rewarding to us, but easy? No. You know, that's why they pay us to be there. None of these roles are easy things and we're expected to bounce from one to the next at a moment's notice, you know, to be responsive to family, to take care of responsibilities, to keep the house up, to make sure the bills are paid on time, make sure our kids are fed and happy and well, and just all these things, which again can be incredibly rewarding things, but they're not easy, and they often don't come with paid vacations that are long enough for what we deserve, you know? They're just not. And so I learned that, you know, I don't have to be Superwoman. I never signed up for that role. I never told anybody I was perfect. Like, let's pause right there. If you thought I was gonna be the perfect mama, I'm sorry, but you got the wrong mama, right? I am gonna do my very best, you know? If you thought I was gonna be the perfect employee, I'm sorry. I'm not perfect, but I do my very best, you know? I will try my best to be, you know, the best version of me that I can offer you in any moment, but I cannot promise you perfection. We will both end up disappointed and hurt. And nah, we don't need to, nah. God didn't make anybody perfect from what I heard. I have read that somewhere, you know? And so I'm not claiming to be that, but I'll give you my best, you know? If you worth it, if you that kind of person in my life. That's another lesson, that just because someone wants your time doesn't mean that they're worth your time, or that they deserve your time, or that they're entitled to your time. Even if you were gonna do nothing else but sit back and twiddle your thumbs. Why do I have so many things in my hand? And you know, twiddle your thumbs and watch the paint dry. No one's entitled to your time unless you tell them or allow them to occupy their time, your time. You know what I'm saying, right? You have to give permission for someone to use your time. They're not just inherently entitled to it. I mean, obviously when it's your kids and stuff, it's different, but I think you get what I'm saying. All right, so now we're highlighting. We got some Jackie Aina action. Hi. I like to mix her highlighters together just because I'm not, well, I'm kind of in between. I'm on the darker side of the range for one of them, and I'm not on the lighter side for the other, so I just mix them, and depending on how that looks after we spray our face, I may add more. We'll just see, you know? But this is pretty much my basic everyday look. I don't know if it's basic because I got a lot of stuff on my face, right? But my everyday look, I would just put on some eyeliner and or mascara and maybe a lip color of some sort, and that'll be that. You know what, I will put on my eyeliner first. I'm not sure what I'm doing as far as eyeshadow goes, but sometimes it's hard to get these pencil eyeliners on after eyeshadow, and I'm not trying to go with a liquid eyeliner. Another thing I learned is that I don't have to allow anyone to call me sensitive, or, well, too sensitive is the one that gets me. I'm like, who's too sensitive? Or emotional when we're discussing something and I express feelings or emotions, or God forbid a tear comes out or something, and they want to accuse me of being overly sensitive or overly emotional, even though I have a very valid point, you know? Because as emotional and irrational as men like to, well, not even men, a lot of women also feel this way. As emotional and overly sensitive as a lot of people think women are, I find that I'm also very rational and logical about things, as most women probably are, despite what the rumors say, you know, what the stereotypes say. And so I'm also very fair, and I don't play the blame game. I try to be mature. I'm far from perfect. Like I said, I'm not, you will never find perfection on this here channel, okay? Let me just warn you. But I do try my best, you know? I do try to put a good foot forward, to make an effort, to be fair, to be reasonable, to be rational. But if I have an opinion on something, or a strong emotion, or a strong feeling about something, I'm allowed to feel that, and no one has the right or the permission from me to accuse me of being sensitive as a way of dismissing my entire point, acting like I don't know what I'm talking about because I happen to be sensitive, or because that was a sensitive subject, or because I happen to be emotional about something. Especially for me, since my eyes can water on cue. Like the slightest thing can make waterworks happen, right? But I don't see that as a bad thing. I don't see that as a weakness. I do see it as me being vulnerable, you know, as me choosing to be vulnerable with someone, and I refuse to be mocked or belittled about it. You know, you're not going to tell me, oh, you just be insensitive, especially if you said something that was offensive or upsetting and I responded in an emotional way. It's not because I'm too sensitive, it's because you were inconsiderate or offensive or rude or disrespectful, and I have a right to say that and call you out on that without you dismissing it as if I'm just some raging hormonal maniac that doesn't know, you know, right from wrong or how to be a decent person. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I know somebody feels me on that. Can you tell that that's a sore spot for me? All right. So we got some eyeliners on. All right, we're gonna try some ColourPop eyeshadows. Even though I've never used them before, this feels like a good time to experiment, obviously. Let's see. And they're like a cushion type of, it's pretty cool. It's almost like a cream eyeshadow. Like I said, if you're interested in details, everything you need to know is down below. Another thing that I learned is, and this was probably one of the most revolutionary ones for me, is that it is possible to look in the mirror and actually like what you see without having to do a single thing to change or augment your body in any kind of way. And like, mind blown, right? I cannot tell you how many diets I've tried, how many surgeries I've researched, whether weight loss surgery or cosmetic surgery, how long I spent not taking pictures of myself, or dating losers because I thought that was the best I could do, because who else will want me, right? Because I had such a negative self-image. Or not dressing myself well, and even not liking shopping, you know, like, who was I, right? Who was this person? Who are this, as they say, right? Because it's like, I'm such a different person. I am such a different person. And I spent so much of my life trying to kind of fly under the radar, not go noticed, because again, when people notice certain things about you, they can be cruel, and I just was not equipped to handle it, and to handle any more of it. Like, I was getting some cruelty, believe that, but to handle any more of it, I wasn't equipped for it. So I spent a lot of time trying to go unnoticed, you know, trying to fade into the background and just be on the perimeter and observe, and to this day I find myself to be a people watcher, because it's just kind of a part of my nature now. Like, for so long sitting back, and I was able to learn a lot though, so don't knock it, you know, being an observant people watcher type. There's definitely nothing wrong with that, because I've learned quite a bit about human behavior. I'll say it that way, about human behavior. And there have been a lot of cautionary tales, for sure, that have taught me a lot of lessons. For sure. All right, what kind of brush do we need for this next part? And so all that time that I've spent feeling those things and feeling those ways and limiting myself because of those feelings, and being afraid to pursue certain things because of those feelings, because of those assumptions I made about myself, because I felt like the thing that needed to change in order for my life to improve or for me to feel better was me, specifically my body. Because I always knew that I had it going on mentally, like personality wise, but I always felt like my body was just a walking flaw from, you know, neck down. You know, and you know, the jiggly arms, the jiggly legs. Well, now they're a little jiggly because I lost a little definition, but that's neither here nor there. But you know, the bigger midsection, the butt that's slightly eclipsed by my back fat, so it looks like I have very little booty, even though I got a little bit of something, you know, it's not fair. But that back fat, you know, like, I mean, I've looked in the mirror 1,000 times in the past and hated what I've seen, and just been ashamed of my reflection, and You couldn't catch me dead on film. Like, good luck catching me. Photos, that's proof, that's evidence, that lasts. Why would I let you take a picture of me? Stop it, you know? And any pictures that I did take were like, here up, you know, or cleavage up, or whatever, you know, because those were assets that I could actually feel proud of. And everything else was just like, nope, how soon can we change all this, you know? Mr. Metafast, how soon can we get me down 100 pounds, you know? Mrs. Weight Watchers, how soon can we do something about all these jelly rolls, you know? And then I'll feel better about myself. Then I'll feel good. Then I'll feel complete or content or happy or whatever I thought I'd feel. And I can sit here and tell you today that none of those things have happened. None of those things have changed. And I feel happier and more fulfilled and just calm, you know, not anxious, not self-conscious, not constantly worried and having negative self-talk and, you know, being overly fixated with my body and how I look and what other people think about the way I look, and realizing that we can of course take pride in our appearance, whether our facial features, our body, or what have you. There's nothing wrong if you do, there's nothing wrong if you don't, and I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle, you know? Obviously, what we see first is what attracts us to a thing or to a person or whatever, you know? It's the visual in most cases. With that said, I feel like it's okay to care about how you look, you know? It's okay to want to change something about your appearance, or to take pride in the way you dress or the way you present yourself. But that's still only part of it, you know? That's still only part of the equation, because looks are temporary, you know? The way I look today is not the way I looked at the start of this decade. It's not the way I'll look at the end of this decade. And so if that's all I'm basing my self-worth on, then boy, that's gonna be a rocky road. Which it has been already. We don't need more of that. We do not need any more of that. So why am I living my life doubting myself, doubting my worth, doubting, you know, who I am because of things that are superficial and really not all that important in the grand scheme of things? And even if it wasn't something physical, you know, when we tell ourselves like, oh, I'm not smart, no one's ever gonna da 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 da, or, you know, I never got through college, so they're gonna think I'm stupid or whatever, like we're dooming ourselves to having that kind of outlook about ourselves. Why would we want that? You know, if you know that you have things to offer the world and you have assets, then roll with those. Why lead with our weaknesses and let those be the things that consume us, or the things that are less than perfect or that society considers to be less than ideal? Like, why lead with that? Why do we obsess about those things and let everything else fall to the wayside? It don't make sense. It don't make sense. These are not half bad. I was concerned because of the like texture of them. I was concerned that they might be difficult to work with, especially since I already had powder on my face, and there's like no fallout because it's not a powder. And I've been having y'all sit there all this time. Girl, I really need to start using more of the stuff I buy. Am I the only one that buys makeup and stuff and then ends up leaving it sitting there, either because you never find the opportunity to use it, or you think it's too pretty to mess it up, or something? Is it just me that reserves the favorite perfume forever and ever and ever, so we never get to live our best life? Like I said, if you feel me, give me an amen in the comments, okay? Let me know. So anyway, getting back on topic, it's really all about our perception, you know? Our perception creates our reality. The things we think and that we continually think and we allow ourselves to think are the things we're eventually gonna believe in some way, shape, or form. Ah, was that a fly? Was it inside? Bruh. I was afraid they gonna land in my hair or something. But yeah, y'all, it's all in our minds. It's all our perception. What we think, what we believe is gonna be what comes true, you know? So what do you want to be the reality of things? Do you want to live the reality that you're telling yourself on those bad days? And we all have bad days, of course. But do you want that to be a reality? So yeah, I think I'm gonna just put on a little bit of mascara and a little lip color real quick and call it a day. I think that's what we're gonna do. Wipe all the crust off these lips. Yeah. All right, so since we have so many different colors on our eyes, I'm just gonna keep it simple on my lips. All this, and now I feel like I gotta blow my nose. Damn it. Damn it, girl. Lip liner. ¿Dónde está? So we shall line the lips. But yeah, I gotta say though, I am damn proud of how far I've come. I am damn proud, okay? I am dancing into the 30s because I am not the girl that I was before, you know? I've come such a long way. And I'm so thankful to have gotten to this point. And I hope this is just the beginnings, you know? I hope it's just the beginnings. Yeah, that was a lot. But you saw how much powder I put on my face. You saw all that powder. But yeah, what do you like to do for your birthday? Are you the type that likes to lay low and just not be bothered by doing anything spectacular? It's just another day type of thing? Are you getting to an age where you feel like you don't want to acknowledge that you're getting older? Are you the type that's like a birthday zilla and it's all about you and
it's my day and nobody else is gonna ruin this day because it's my birthday, damn it?
Is that you? Sometimes I gotta pull a little bit of that out of my pocket to be like, look guys, it is my birthday after all, so that deserves a little bit of something, you know, a little bit of special accommodation, right? You know, but what kind of you? What do you like to do for your birthday? For me, family, friends. My biggest thing is the no stress rule. So I don't expect to be stressed for my birthday. I think that's the least I could ask for, to, you know, have family that celebrates me and is interested in showing me a good time and stuff. That's nice and all, but the main thing is that I not be stressed on my birthday. I don't want the aggravation. I don't want the headache. You know, I want to have a good time. I just want to enjoy myself and to feel good and feel happy and to feel loved and appreciated. I don't need, you know, 10 dozen roses and things. Although, you know, those little gifts and things are nice. But I mainly like to not be stressed, you know. Don't stress me, don't push me, don't make me move too fast. Don't make me do anything that I don't feel like doing. I just realized I forgot to put on mascara. Your mother, yo. Don't get blinded on your birthday, girl. Now my hands all shaky. I'm nervous. Okay. I think we got it, y'all. I think we're making our way through it. This is some interesting mascara, bruh. I usually use the, what, L'Oreal? No, Maybelline. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but I'll put that down below too. It's the, like, Lash Paradise? Maybelline, I want to say. L'Oreal? Maybelline? Girl. I don't remember at the moment. Alright, so that's the look. What do you think? What do you think? Did we do okay? So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for getting ready with me or for chilling with me while I got ready, whichever one you did. I appreciate your time. As Jay-Z would say, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that, right? So thank you so much for joining me. Let me know in the comments what you like to do for your birthday or what you thought of the lessons that I learned. Did you learn any of these things before? Are you still in the process of learning? It's okay. We all have time. Nobody don't gotta be in a rush, you know. Take it at our own pace and we'll be good to go, right? So I am, like I said, dancing into 30s, you know, because I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to have people like you in my life. I'm just happy. So happy birthday to me. I hope I have a good dinner tonight. I appreciate any well wishes that you might send my way because I know you guys are awesome. If you enjoyed this video, please do the thumbs up thing and consider sharing it with someone who might like it too. It will help my channel grow and I would appreciate that. Also, consider subscribing if you haven't already. That would be grand. It would be like a birthday present to me. You know what I mean? Consider it like that. The thumbs up, the comments, the subscribing, like happy birthday, right? Like, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, and I'm gonna go pick out my outfit. I don't know what I'm wearing yet, but I will be sure to let you know. And hopefully have me a good night out and a good birthday dinner. So thanks again for watching, and I hope I'll see you in my next video. Bye. All right, helicopter. Not like I'm filming or nothing. Jeez. All right, concealer. Maybe now's not the time to try something brand new. Okay, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing some.
Hey, you don't invite me over.
If they don't shut the... Yo.
I just learned about the June rule today. I'm
just kind of trusting these. Ooh, girl, what color is you? Like, okay. Okay, see, this is why I say we just gonna see where we end up because, girl, this inner corner thing never works out well for me. Like, am I using the wrong kind of brush? Is that what it is? Is it the brush? Is it me? Is it, you can tell me if it's me, like, that's okay. I'm always afraid to put too much because, girl, we've all seen people with too much. This eyelash is like bungee jumping or something. I was trying to do something with brown eyeliner and I kind of messed it up. Let me put that away. And I meant to blend some of the color underneath, but since I'm just now remembering after my mascara, I don't think that's gonna happen, guys. I don't think it's gonna work. Ooh, is that too blown out now? Oh, girl, calm down. Calm down, Nika. Girl, what you doing?